Hi, everybody. How's it going? We are here a little bit earlier than normal today because we have a special guest from the Netherlands that we're excited to introduce you to. And we're excited to kick off our challenge for this week. So, we took a little bit of a break last week, which I think was good. I know I needed some sleep. So, it was probably, although, does anyone on WikiTree really take a break? Really?
No.
Because, like we were just saying, it's kind of an obsession. So, if we're not doing the challenge, we find other ways to keep ourselves busy, huh?
We
So
do.
hi to everybody in the chat. Let's see. I think we have a bunch of our usuals. Chris F, Tommy, June, Steven, whose last name I never try to say. I know Eve is here.
And Hyoka?
And Anne. Maggie. And John from Ireland. So.
Oh, John, is this his first time he's come in?
He comes to date night, right?
Yes,
no, he's
that's
been
right.
here before.
You're right.
And Lewis
Okay,
Kessler.
welcome back, John.
He's one of our future guest stars. So let me introduce the people who are here, in case you don't know most of us yet. I'm Awen. I'm a team member at WikiTree. That is Julie. She's also a team member at WikiTree. That is Mindy. She is our coordinator of the challenge and basically the one that keeps it running behind the scenes. And then if you don't know, this is Yvette Hoitink, which hopefully I said right. She is our Dutch guest star, who we'll learn more about in just a little bit. So I'm going to turn over to Mindy in just a sec after I tell you about WikiTree and the WikiTree challenge, in case you also aren't familiar with that. So WikiTree is a community of genealogists who are working together on a single family tree. In other words, we collaborate to grow an accurate global tree that connects us all, and most remarkably, it's completely free. The WikiTree challenge is what we decided to do for our year-long event as part of our Year of Accuracy. And each week, a team of WikiTreeers takes on a genealogy guest stars tree and collaborates to make it more accurate and complete than it is anywhere else. Our goal is to improve our accuracy on WikiTree, add more family connections, and make more friends. So Mindy's going to explain a little bit about how all of this works.
Now, one thing we do have to do well is collaboration. So good thing it's WikiTree. And we have several ways to do that during the challenge week. On the left, you see the spreadsheet. We try and put the profile that we're working on there. We wind up with sometimes 35, 40 people working on the branches at the same time. So if you put the profile there, then somebody doesn't come in and accidentally save over your work or something, and then take it out when you're done. On the right, you'll see the G2G post. Now we have a new one of those each week featuring our guest star. And that's where we go ahead and put any bounty points that we're claiming. If you have an interesting fact you want to point out, if you have a question and you haven't put it in Discord, we use the G2G post for a lot of things. And then finally is Discord, and this one we can't do without. We have people that are from all over the world, so there's almost always somebody in there talking. We cheer each other on. We'll take a second look at a record for you. We have people that do nothing but add stickers, look up newspaper articles. There's a lot going on in there. And then there's two types of ways that we can score. Now, of course, we don't do this just for the points. And we love the fact that we're able to give this kind of a genealogy gift to somebody. But we are human, and it is a good motivator. So there's two types of basic scores that you can get. Now, we have the bounty points, which are the big ones. And that would be 10 points for each new brick wall ancestor on a line, or if you find an incorrect ancestor and you can disprove them on that line, that's 10 points. We have single points, and these are given for every direct ancestor added, even beyond the brick wall, and for all of the nuclear family. So that would be siblings or children. And those points can actually add up pretty fast. We have, at the end of a week, somebody that we go ahead and announce as our most valuable player, MVP of the week, and that would be the person that gets the total top score, so all of the profiles they've added plus their bounty points.
Cool.
Did I lose you?
Okay, sorry. Top teams. Yes, you did for a second there. I couldn't see it. My computer slowed down on me. Now,
That's
top
okay.
teams. We wanted to do a little bit of refresher here and point out how well everybody's done. I know how excellent you guys have done, but it's fun to see the numbers. So we're heading towards that 6 months mark, and these are our totals so far. We have total points 10,553, created ancestors 1,630. That's just direct
Wow.
ancestors. It's incredible. Relatives, now those are those nuclear relatives we were talking about, 4,582. For bounty points, here you go, 4,340. So that's 434 new brick wall ancestors. It's just amazing.
Amazing.
That's
It is.
crazy.
You guys are awesome. Profiles edited, these are unique profiles edited, 15,213. So, you guys have done a lot of improving and helping with the accuracy of WikiTree. And then, of course, total edits. And this really goes to show how much you're working on the health of the tree, 64,229. Wow.
Fantastic.
Just wow.
That's
I know.
crazy.
That's so crazy. Like, we didn't have, because we had no idea how this would go when we started it. So I don't think we had a way to even expect anything. But I'm floored every week at what is being done.
And every time they blow us away, we get some new big number, and
I
we're
know,
just all
it's
sitting here
crazy.
going,
And
wow.
these numbers will double this week, right?
Yes,
Definitely.
absolutely.
Yeah. Maybe triple. They might triple.
Yeah.
So
We'll work on that just for you, Yvette.
Yeah, I know you do your best.
Okay, and then I want to acknowledge two sets of top teams here. Now, since this has started this year, for the total score, the team that got the highest score for their week, that was Team Quas, on Dallin Quas this week. So they had 1,202 total points, 410 bounty points. The team captain was Emma Macbeth. Way to go, Emma. And most valuable player, Maddie Hardman. And then the other top team I'd like to point out, now this was our highest scoring bounty points in 1 week since we've started. And that was Team Goodwin. They had 1,174 total points, so just a little bit behind what Dallin's team did. But their bounty points were 610. That was just 61 brick wall ancestors. It was an amazing week. Everybody was so hard to keep up with. We just kept adding points and adding points. The team captains were Janet Wild and Joan Whitaker. And the most valuable player, now this was her first time winning this award this year, was Carol Keeling. So way to go, Carol.
That's fantastic. Awesome. So cool. You guys are amazing. Just the amount of work that gets done and the collaboration. Like, I think it's taken a lot of us to a whole new level of collaboration too.
It's fun to pop in on the Discord server and watch the conversation that's rolling away. It's like you can't keep up with it sometimes.
For sure. So that's our overall progress, which is great. We're excited, as we said, to have Yvette here this week. She is from the Netherlands. And so we're super excited because we have a Netherlands project on WikiTree, our Dutch Roots project, and our Dutch members have been pouring in this week to help with this challenge. They're excited, we're excited, everyone's excited. So it's been nice to see them, come and help because we really need them this week. So that's been, not that we don't need them other weeks. We need you guys every week. We love our Dutch members.
We do. We love our Dutch
in
folk.
particular. And in a couple of weeks, it's you guys' time to be in the spotlight.
We do. And there was a lot of people in there making new friends yesterday.
I know,
in the
it was
Discord
so cool.
Chat, so.
Yeah, that was really fun to see. That's one of our goals, make new friends. And we always thought that would be like in the outside genealogy community. But I think we've had a lot of WikiTreers make friends with each other.
Definitely.
So it's been really good for that too. So many extra bonuses to this challenge that we didn't even think about when we started it. So good stuff. All right, Yvette, I'm going to tell you a little bit about her. She is a board-certified genealogist in the Netherlands who helps people find their Dutch ancestors. A super cool fact that I learned about her today is that she's the only genealogist in the Netherlands to hold the certified genealogist credential, which is pretty epic. She has an amazing website that's an excellent resource for Dutch researchers. It's dutchgenealogy.nl. You should definitely check it out if you're doing any kind of research in Dutch. I was looking, or in the Netherlands, I was looking at it today, and she mentioned she started it in 1993, so it's probably one of the oldest genealogy websites out there. And she's been blogging for years, and it looks like there's a ton of great information there. She specializes in tracing Dutch immigrants, including people who settled in New Netherlands, the United States, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. She is a writer and a lecturer, and in January, she started up what she calls Level Up Challenge for her ancestors. And if she's willing, maybe she can tell us a little bit about that, because it's pretty cool.
Sure. So the Level Up Challenge is something I came up with because I'm revisiting my old research. I don't know about you, but I've been doing genealogy for 30 years, and some of my older profiles are in worse shape than my newer ones. And I wanted to have a way to keep track of how I'm doing. So the Level Up Challenge is level 1 is an ancestor I only know the name for. And level 2, I know their vital statistics. At level 3, I know where they lived throughout their lives. At level 4, I also know if they owned property and if they ever were in prison. And at level 5, I've just about exhausted all reasonable records that I can expect to find. And at level 6, I've written all of that up in the form of a biography. And
nice.
yeah, and DNA Painter actually added these levels now in a dimension. So you can create a fan chart where you can manually add the different levels, and then you can see in your tree what level you are. So I have a lot of like red orangey stuff. That's the level 1, maybe 2. But the recent ones are maybe level 4 because I've been trying to level them up.
Nice.
And my first goal is to get my first 6 generations up to level 4. So I know pretty much about their lives in records
That's really
that are
cool.
easily accessible. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very cool.
I loved it when I first saw it, and I've been meaning to try it. So hopefully sometime this year I can kind of tackle that, because I think it's a great way to go reapproach your research.
Yeah, you can define your own levels. Some people say, "Well, I want to include DNA in these levels." I haven't done that because there are not many people who test DNA in the Netherlands, not as much as in other countries. So I don't have many serendipitous matches, and not many people want to test for me. So I have left that as a separate thing. This is just how my archival research is doing. But you can define your own levels. It's just an easy way to keep score for yourself and see where you need to do your next work.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, Yvette, what got you interested in genealogy?
I had a Lego city when I was 10 where I already had a population register where of each doll in which house they lived. So I think there were early warning signs back then. But it all started when my first cousin, who's older than me, she was pregnant, and there was this story that it might be twins, because our grandfather was a twin, and grandpa had just died earlier that year, and that freaked me out. The idea that I could be running into my deceased grandfather's identical twin, because that's what the story said. So I took the train across the country. I was 15 at the time. Of course, in the Netherlands, across the country is like 2 hours, but still. And I went to the archives and looked up my grandfather's birth certificate to see if he had a twin brother, and he didn't. His mother had had a child out of wedlock 1.5 years before he was born. So I had found my first scandal, my first family secret that I debunked. And well, the rest is history. So that's how I got involved in genealogy.
Very cool.
Now, do you have a favorite ancestor?
Yeah, I think it used to be Arend Kastijn. He's a constable who was he's a police constable, and most of my other ancestors are farmers and laborers. And I love them all equally, but police constables create more records.
Yes.
And so, but now I'm currently doing a project where I'm trying to prove my descent from Eleanor of Aquitaine, so the Queen of France and England in the 12th century. I'm 2 generations away, so I've now proven 27
Wow.
generations. If I can
Wow.
make those last 2 connections, I'm pretty sure she will take the first place.
Wow.
Wow.
That's amazing.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I've
That's
blogged
so
about that
crazy.
on my blog, so you can go to my website and type in Eleanor or Aquitaine, and you can find all the. I've written 1 blog post per generation, documenting all the resources per generation, documenting all the
That
proof.
is so cool.
It's a very fun project, but it's getting really hard
I
now.
bet.
I bet.
12th
bet.
century, yeah.
Now, you told us about the first scandal you found. What other interesting stories or scandals have you found in your branches?
Well, just this week I found it's not really a big scandal, but I thought it was fascinating. One of my female ancestors, she was very poor, and I found her put in jail 3 times in 3 years for cutting grass in her neighbor's meadow. And I think that's
Wow.
just so sad to
Wow.
think that she was so poor. She probably had a goat or something that needed to be fed. And yeah, so she cut some grass and probably fed it to the goat, but that was considered theft. And she had to go to jail for 8 days each time, so 24 days in all. And
Wow.
what's special about that is that the prison records give a physical description. So I now know what she looks like. And this is a
Oh,
woman
cool.
born
That's
in
interesting.
1834, so you'd never know that otherwise.
No.
So
What a cool
That's
find.
amazing.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that may be the biggest scandal, like grass, but still, I love those
There-
personal stories.
So
For
do I. I
sure.
love that. I love finding those little tidbits.
Yeah, anything that
Same.
tells you about their lives and not just the dates and the places.
Yes.
And that's
absolutely.
one of the things that we love about the biographies on WikiTree too, is that you are able to do that. We can go in and narrate what we've learned and take some of that information out of the records we found and try and bring that person to life again. And I just absolutely love that.
Yeah, me too.
Some of our researchers, that's one of their favorite things to do, is to go out and find all the little articles that they can. So you'll
Yep.
get some nice
Yeah.
surprises, I hope.
Hopefully.
Yeah, and the Netherlands has great resources online, like Delver, the newspaper website, where they digitized many of the newspapers since the 18th century, all for free. So yeah, they're great resources.
And when did
So-
you first discover WikiTree?
I think it was around 2014. It was for a client project, a New Netherlands project, and I was doing a Google search, and WikiTree popped up, and they had some information that was incorrect, and I figured, well, it's a collaborative tree, I'll fix it. And I added the original record that proved the origins of the family. I must say I haven't done much with it since, because I'm very busy with client projects, and I'm studying and have a family. But yeah, I've used it as a resource, so more as a way to find records, and I've been impressed with the quality of the New Netherlands project's profiles.
Thank you.
Thank you.
On their
Thank you.
behalf.
Thank you for when you found something incorrect, you came and fixed it, because you know we're a collaborative tree, instead of just dismissing us and walking away. We love that when people come and fix things. So.
Yeah, it's also a bit of an
Absolutely.
experiment for me. My first career was in IT, and I'm curious to see how these kinds of systems work. So I checked it the other day, and my edit is still up. So that's a good sign, right? I
Yay!
mean,
It's an
I
excellent
I
sign.
fixed it, and I documented
Good.
it. I made sure to include the
Yay.
original source with the photo and everything, and it survived. And that's what you expect, right? If people do good edits, it should
Yes.
stay
Yes.
up.
Absolutely.
And then I just have one quick question from our chat. It was actually from the previous question when you were talking about how you had the physical description of the woman. And Frank wanted to know if you had an artist try to create a picture from the description.
I've actually been looking at those police mugshot, like the police artist. You have software that does that for you, but the details are too sparse to do
little
that.
too
It's
vague.
like hair color, a round face, a low forehead. It's too, yeah, it's
A little too vague.
non-specific.
Too vague.
Yeah, but I've been playing around with software just to get like mugshots of my ancestors, just as a mnemonic to see who has blue eyes, who has gray eyes. But it didn't really work. But it was fun to play with.
I bet.
Sure. Sounds fun.
Yeah,
You do have that IT brain there. I can see that.
yeah.
And then we've talked about the fact that your tree is already it's so impressive. It's massive. It is. And out of the 9th generation, and I know you're proven out to 12 or 15 or further on some of those, but even at the 9th generation, you only have 11 brick walls out of 255 possible ancestors on the paternal side. And then 25 brick walls on the maternal side, plus that little chunk that needs to be DNA proven. But if you had to pick one particular area that you would really like to see expanded, what would it be?
I think there are some ancestors on my father's side that came from other countries to the Netherlands. Those are the ones I haven't exhausted the sources yet. In the Netherlands, because they're all from the area around Winterswijk, and I purchased those transcriptions when I was 16 from my pocket money. So I kind of dug deep there. And so I think the best chance of breaking brick walls there is in the non-Dutch ancestral lines, actually. So I know you've all these Dutch volunteers lined up, but for those on my paternal side, I think you should get 100 bonus points if you break a brick wall there, because those are all very solid. There are some where there are online trees that have further ancestors, but I haven't been able to find proof, and then I don't add them. So,
Right.
yeah, and on my mother's side, there are several people whom I just haven't had the time to research yet. So there's probably more potential for a brick wall breaking there. And I have some missing fathers of illegitimate children on that, and I don't think those will be solved without DNA. So I
Right.
think those are, like, I know in one case that a father acknowledged the child when she was 7, but I haven't found DNA evidence yet, or convincing DNA evidence. I have some that he was the biological father. So I haven't added him as the father, just as the husband of the mother. My program doesn't allow you to add multiple fathers, so I have to pick one.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have added him as the legal father. Yeah.
And then what is
Gotcha.
the main thing you hope to get out of the challenge itself?
I think it's like a bit of reflection, or just a new set of eyes. Like, how am I doing? Are there obvious things I've been missing? And just also to see how this works, this collaborative tree. Like, is this something that is worth doing? I think it is, but how does it work in practice? My knowledge is mostly theoretical. I've dabbled a bit with the family search, family tree, a little bit with the WikiTree, and I think it's just fun to see how it works. And if you break any brick walls, I'd be highly surprised, to be honest, because I've been doing this for a while, and I'd be so blown away. So any brick wall, it's like 100
There you
bonus
go,
points. I
guys.
know.
So one will
There's
do
your
it,
goal.
right?
Just one.
One.
Just
What
one.
really? On my father's side, the last time I broke through a brick wall was 6 years ago. Just to give you
Wow.
an idea. Yeah. And that was actually while working on my portfolio for the Board for Certification of Genealogists, where I was documenting a known line and doing reasonably exhaustive research, and found out I had the wrong cousin, to same named cousin as
wow.
my ancestor. So I found an error in my own tree. So if anyone finds an error in my tree, I would be really happy too, because I want to improve the quality. So
Sure.
that would count as a brick wall as well, I think. I don't know if
And
I
Good
changed the
attitude.
rules like that, but
Yep.
yeah.
And then we do like to make these profiles as nice as we can. So we generally ask if you have any photographs that we can use for some of the
Sure.
profiles.
If they're my photos that I uploaded, you can use them. If I saved them from other people's tree, you'd need their permission. Like on my ancestry tree, some of them are saved from other people's trees, so I can't give permission for them.
Right.
So
Very cool. So we do, if you guys have any questions for Yvette, you can put them in the chat and we'll ask her. I did see Eve said you didn't have any ancestors who were sent to Vienhuizen or the Vienhausen.
No,
That was close.
that's the colonies where they sent the poor people. No, mine were just not just right side of poor to stay in their own communities. So no, that's most. I think 1 in 5 or so people in the Netherlands, or 1 in 10, have paupers who were sent to the colonies to dig peat. Those people who were convicted as beggars, you would be shipped there and work in the peat colonies. And that's just part of the Netherlands that they were trying to cultivate using forced labor.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I guess she
mine were in
said.
Gelderland, so.
I guess she said they took pictures of all the people who were sent to those.
Yeah, I know. And also some of the hardened criminals that were released, but mine just cut grass, so they didn't make the cut.
No
So
pictures.
no pictures.
And then another question is, do you have a language preference for the profiles that they're creating?
No.
Because we like to do them in, especially when we have people who can do them in the native language, but then we usually also do them in English. We kind of try and do both when we can.
Dutch or French, English, German, doesn't matter.
All four, guys, all four.
Latin.
Yes.
All five.
Yeah. Yeah, I read 12 languages, so I'm good.
Oh my God.
Oh, well, then you're good.
Yeah.
Good to go. And then Lewis Kessler asked, do all your ancestral lines as far back as you can go originate in the Netherlands?
No, the constable I just talked about, he moved across the street when he was young, and that street was the border between the Netherlands and Germany. So he was born in Germany, moved
Wow.
across the street, and then he was Dutch, which meant he had to have a royal decree to be naturalized before he could join the police force, which
Wow.
is pretty cool. So
That
yeah, I
is
have a few Germans on my father's side because Winterswijk's just on the eastern border of the Netherlands, and some of them are just across the border. I have a few Huguenot lines, French Huguenot, in my Zealand lines from my mother's side. And my mother's side lived in the south of the Netherlands, and some are from what's now Belgium. So, and I have one Scottish line.
Wow.
There's a Scottish soldier, Paul Trommel, Trommel, and he came from Edinburgh as a mercenary soldier in the early 1600s to fight in the Netherlands. And a very distant cousin of mine did Y-DNA testing, and it's supposed to be Turnbull in Edinburgh. And he even found a marriage record. So
Oh
in
my.
Edinburgh
Wow.
in
Neat.
1598, I think. So yeah, that's my, and I'm now studying at a Scottish university, so that's my one UK ancestor that I can claim.
That's really
funny.
cool.
Do you have any questions for us?
No, I sit on my hands for a week, right? I let you
Yes.
have all the
Yes,
fun.
please.
Yes.
Okay. That's just
We
gonna
want to be able to
difficult.
surprise you.
Yeah. Like I said, I haven't broken the brick wall on my father's side in 6 years. I don't think the chance is very large that I will break one in the next week. Now, I'll be curious to see what you do, and if you need any help or need more information about my tree, you can go to dutchgenealogy.nl and use the contact form to ask me a question. I don't know if that's allowed, but
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
that's fine. No peeping. Okay,
No
I see
peeping.
that. Yeah, that's good that you mentioned it. Yeah, I'll stay off WikiTree for a week.
It'll be hard.
Yeah,
It'll be hard,
and
but you can do it.
You're luring me in. I think I feel myself being pulled in. Yeah.
That's good. That's what we're trying to do.
The week goes by fast for the researchers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That will be long for me. I'm gonna be curious.
Yeah. Mindy, did you have any other questions for Yvette?
No. I think we've
For the
covered
week?
it.
Cool. Well, then I'm going to say let's wrap this up so people can go and research. So thank you, Yvette, for being one of our guest stars. We're so happy to have you. Thank you, Mindy, for all the work you do to keep the challenge going. Thank you, people who have come and hung out on this chat with us. We always appreciate that. And your comments wouldn't be the same without you. We just talk to ourselves, and we do that all the time anyway. So we like having fresh voices. Thank you ahead of time to everyone who's going to do the research this week. We're excited to see what you guys find. And we'll be back in a week so we can share with Yvette what we found. So go to work.
Can't wait. Success.
Yay.
Hi,
Set 'em up.
everybody.
Set 'em up.
Success. You do it.
That means good
And if
luck.
you have, how do you say it?
Success, but it means good luck in Dutch. It's not the
Oh.
word's the same as success in English, but it's
But it
used
means good-
differently. Yep.
Huh.
So
Very cool. Now we know.
success.
Cool. And if
And
you haven't
next week
subscribed
you'll
to our,
say success.
yes, that's what we're gonna say. Hopefully we have a lot of it. Oh, and if you haven't subscribed to our channel, you should subscribe to it because we do these awesome videos every week and you don't want to miss
We
out.
do.
So with that, we will say goodbye. Have fun, research hard.